the Agile Manifesto, to me, and everything around agility goes back to those core 12 principles. Because those core 12 principles paint a picture of what it's like when we think this way, what it's like when we act this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then the process comes after that.
Right. There's a thing when people have issues with agility, there's 4 big ideas, and they are the 4 values to some extent, but I kind of reword them when I'm talking about it. And it's, well, do you have a process that focuses on the customer? Yes or no? Okay. Do you have a process that values the contribution of everybody on the teams? Okay, cool. Do you have a process that values the idea of iteration and learning? Cool. Yes or no, right? And do you have a process that is value oriented rather than I'm thinking spec oriented, or like just directed, where you're helping people move towards a value? So like, is there a vision that people can follow? Because a process that doesn't have those things is going to struggle to be successful in a lot of contexts, especially in the real world where everything's changing all the time. But if those things are in place, just so you know, you may have accidentally be very well aligned with agility and the concepts around it, just by making sure there's value and vision, making sure there's iteration, making sure your customer is important and included however you can, and making sure that you're valuing everybody that's doing the work, right? And those are, to some extent, these core ideas. And when you go and you talk to anybody about that, whether they know anything about software development or not, who's in business, they're like, those things all make sense. It's like, exactly. And if you can hold those things appropriately, and you can not create counter incentives around them where you start not valuing everybody and what they bring to the table, and you start like not really putting the customer first, but make it about something else, or you start not having that clear vision, or not disseminating the vision that you have. When you go down those bad paths, that's when you're going to start tripping, and it doesn't matter what process you're using. And that's what I think when we were working at as development managers or producers, and now when we're doing consulting with whatever clients, that's what we're trying to help people understand, is those core ideas, those fundamentals of how people actually interact with each other. And that's why roles and responsibilities matter. And that's why alignment matters. And that's why everywhere we go, we run into those same problems. I think you and I have both been in environments where we've shown up and we're like, oh, wow, roles and responsibilities aren't clear. And someone's like, well, we've done a roles and responsibilities exercise multiple times. And as if that means we shouldn't do another one, or this can't really be the problem. And it's like, well, there's another option, which is, even though you went through a process of doing a meeting and talking about roles and responsibilities, practically it didn't matter. Now, I'm not saying that means we should just go do another one. We should try to figure out, why didn't it work? Why is it that after you determined everybody's roles and responsibility through your org, that it didn't actually have the impact you were trying to have? Maybe even had some negative impacts. Mm-hmm. Let's explore that. Let's understand why, because that's where the sort of meat of helping an organization is. That's where the things that aren't obvious, the things that aren't solved in formulas live.